What's up, 12s?
Hey, 12!
Yeah, I'm here. We're in the car with myself, my dad, Cooey Burt.
Hello.
My wife, Jen, and her two sisters in the back. We just got back from the viewing party over at the Oxford Saloon. Victorious Seattle 38-7 over the Vikings. Was not really even close at all the entire game. Seattle came out, established a dominance, had a turnover. The defense forced a quick ball back to the Seahawks, and we never really looked back. It was 7-0, 14-0, 21-0. I think it was 21 at the half, wasn't it?
28.
And then we continued to score 2 more touchdowns and a field goal. And the only thing Vikings did was one kick return for a touchdown that I haven't seen them do in a while. I think not since the Rams game last year, maybe, that we've given up a kick return for a touchdown. So overall, I think one of the most complete games I've seen the Seahawks do. First of all, just to have back-to-back games with 30 or more points. That's something we don't do very often. The offense and defense were both dominating on both sides. Defense never let Peterson get his game going. Kept him to like less than 30 yards, I think, maybe 20-something. I don't know, but he was out of the game before he even made a difference. The defense was constantly putting pressure on Bridgewater. He looked very uncomfortable in the pocket. Sacked a few times. Made a few throws and got a few first downs, but really never was in a threat to score on us. And when they did get close, we got the ball back on the interception. And by Thomas, right? Wasn't that the one interception we had?
Yep, one of the interceptions.
Did we have more than one turnover, or was that the only one?
I think we only got one interception.
Earl Thomas on the interception. Let's see what else. Running game was looking good. I don't know if Rawls broke 100 in that, but he was running at chunks at a time. 5 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards. So the running game continues to look good, but best of all was just passing game.
And Jackson helped too.
Oh, you mean
the running back?
Fred Jackson. He got a few, couple of catches, couple touches. Even Tukwuafu ran for a first down up the middle. So lots of guys getting in on the running game, but I think the most impressive was just Russell at quarterback position. The line blocked amazingly effective. I think we had a couple of sacks, but Russell avoided like 2 or 3 where it looked like they had him dead to rights, and then he somehow did his Houdini magic and spun out of a would-be blitzer and was able to either get a play out of it or at least not take the sack. So, but he with the ball was great, throwing the ball around to different receivers. Baldwin had a really good game again. Lockett made a lot of catches. Luke Wilson stepping up with in place of the injured Graham.
And the other tight end,
Helfet had a couple. He had a big drop though, where he could have gone for 20-something yards, and he just didn't hold on to it. But it's nitpicking, little things.
And Curse,
I think had. Did he score a touchdown?
I don't think so. He had a good
some catches there.
But actually he dropped it.
But really, just Wilson, he just seems to be every game getting better. Completion percentage was, I think, 70+%. Throwing the ball on time, very quickly, very decisive, and running it more too. He did some read options. There was one where he did a bootleg. Everybody was fooled. He ran for like 20-something yards. I thought he was gone. But just doing like what he did last year and taking what the defense gives him. But yeah, he even ran for a score. It was just an overall really well-rounded game by the Seahawks. So this was, barring the Cardinals game at the end of the season, this was the toughest game remaining on the schedule. We have 4 games to go. We've got Baltimore, Cleveland, the Rams, and then the Cardinals. I believe the Cardinals won today, so I believe that's going to take the division. Barring a massive injury to Carson Palmer, I don't think we're catching the Cardinals. There's too much of a lead, and what that could mean then is that last game may not mean much for them. They may not even play their starters because they might end up resting them because they'll probably have the number 2 seed. which means that it gives us a good chance that we win that last game and not be the toughest game that it might have been had they had to play for it. So really, we might have a very easy schedule the rest of the way with basically all these other teams having losing records in Baltimore, Cleveland, and the Rams, who lost to the Cardinals today. So the playoff picture hasn't changed much. I didn't get to see what the end of the Bucks Atlanta game was. Bucks were ahead by a point last I glanced, but that was a while ago. So
I think the Bucks won.
Did they win?
Yeah.
It's actually good because Atlanta just continues their free fall. So with the Packers' fluky Hail Mary win on Thursday night, the other night, or earlier in the week, they stay in the number 1 wild card. We, with our win today, continue to keep pace in the number 2 wild card, while everybody else just kind of drops back a little bit with Atlanta, the closest one behind us, trailing off if they did in fact lose today. So the seeding hasn't changed. It makes the NFC North a little more interesting now that the Vikings lost to us, and because the Packers won their game, I'm not sure if that puts them in a tie or who's got the edge in the NFC North. What I don't want to have happen is I felt pretty good about this Vikings game. I wanted the Vikings to take the division because I don't want the Hawks to have to play the Packers in Lambeau, just because Lambeau's historically a bad place to play. But Packers have not been playing very well as of late, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Lambeau won't be quite as threatening a place to play in if we get to the playoffs. But I'd just as soon return to Minnesota and play them there if that's the case. So we'll see how the rest of the games shake out. But for now, it's a great win, and it's just really a good sign that the Seahawks are on their way, looking good again in the close of the season, like they always do. December just seems to be the month that the Seahawks turn it on. So, feeling good. Another great win. High scores.
Great win.
So, it's Baltimore Ravens next week in Baltimore, and unfortunately, we got flex out of prime time for the stinking Patriots to take on the Texans. I guess they find that game a little bit more interesting, which probably is, now that the Texans actually have a legitimate chance of kind of being relevant, where it looked like they were just going to be nothing at the beginning of the season. Now they're right in the hunt for the playoffs themselves. So we'll see how those games play out. But for now, we're going to enjoy celebrating this win, and focus on the Ravens next week. Right, Dad?
Yep. Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Turn right to merge onto
The next
522
Where's
west
my
towards
GPS
Seattle.
talking? I don't know if I'm going to do this game next week because our girls have a gymnastics meet at the same time. The game, as the start of the game, their meet will be coming to an end as the start of the game is happening. The schedule thing really messed up my day. I had it all planned out, and now it's all messed up. So I might miss the first part of that game, at least in real time. I don't know. I'll have to record it maybe and try to react to it. But anyway, that's all right. That's it.
All
Go
right,
Hawks!
go Hawks!
Woo!